good afternoon. Today I want to pass you through some structural engineering drawings here and show you how you can read and be able to understand and fabricate the beam on site. Today, this is our formwork is done. You can see our formwork is done, so we're beginning the steel work today. And to pass you through, this is beam 31. You can see this is my leaf, this is my drawing. Maybe my drawing, my phone is not very clear, but I want to make sure you understand. So this is beam 31. You can see beam 31, 600 by 250, and you can see this is what we have done. So for this is beam 31. You can see. So if you this is first of all you go to what's called beam layout. This is our beam layout drawing. Is where you're able to identify what beam you're working on. So as you can see, just here is my lift area. Look at my drawing. This is my lift, and this is after the lift here. This is beam 31. Here this one here. You can see my finger. Beam 31 is running all the way. You can see it goes until this column here. Now after identifying your beam from the beam layout, you come now to what we call the beam detail. Now this is my beam detail. You can see these are beams written. These are beams already drawn and detailed. So here you come and identify what reinforcement that is needed within that beam and how you go about them. Now I want to zoom you straight to beam 31. You can see this in our beam detail. This is beam 31. Beam 31. If you look clearly on beam 31 detail, you can see the engineer is telling you that the beam 31, you need to be able to identify the most important things. You need to be able to identify the grids onto that beam, so you know that where your beam is starting and where your beam is ending. And the second thing, after identify the grid, be able to read the section. You see, there's a section there, 31. He has cut a section through that beam. So if you go in front of that, you're able to see that section 31 there, 331, and you can see on top of it is those are bars, and 1, 2, 3 and 07 into the bracket is what we call the bar mark. The bar mark helps you to identify the shape of that bar and how you're able to fabricate it. It gives the more detail on how you're able to identify. A section gives you more detail of a structural element. Now if you look closely onto beam 31, you see he's telling you that you can look at the arrow, where the arrow is pointing. The arrow is pointing onto a very thick line, black thick line. That is a structural reinforcement steel. That's how it's always drawn onto the drawings. You can see that he's saying that 4T2501 U-bars. So which means he has already given you 01. 01 is the bar mark. 4 means 4 in number, which means 4 is the number. T is a letter that says that's a high tensile steel twisted bar, high tensile steel twisted bar, and 25 is the size, the diameter of that bar. And he's putting dash 01. 01 is the bar mark. Bar mark means it's able to identify, helps you to identify things like the shape code of that bar, and the length of cutting, the sizes, and also sometimes gives you the number. If you go to the bar mark, it may help you to identify. If you go to what's called the bar bending schedule, you're able to find the bar mark, and the bar mark help you to get the shape code of that bar. But it's already given you that this is a U-bar. And if you go a little bit in front, you can see after the section cut, you can see here it's telling you 32 T 8 04 200. So what does that mean? It means that those are rings. Your rings are 32 in number, and T is like a shell. T is a high tensile steel strength twisted bar. 04 is also a bar mark of that ring. It shows you it's able to help you to identify the shape, how you're going to fabricate it. the lengths of that ring. How, like for example, I'll be able to show you here on the beam clearly. And if you go down, it's telling you 200. 200 is the spacing, center to center. So you measure from the center of this ring to the center of the next ring. It's supposed to be 200. And if you go in front here on the beam, it's also telling you that T2503. So 4T2503. So what that one means, that it means that the other bars, four in number, T is the high tensile twisted steel, and 03 is the bar mark of that steel. So which means a beam can have different bars with different shape codes. So you're able to identify through the at the bar mark of that beam, that of that bar that is indicated. Now 4T, let's go back to the U bars. 4T25 U bars. Now I want to take you close to the beam here. You can see this is our beam. This is our beam, and if you can count this where the beam starts, you can count. You can see there are four. There are four in number 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you go, if I twist my 4, you can see that you can see this one is a U bar, which means it is continuing. It's fabricated in the form of a U. The U letter of our alphabet is in form of a U. And if you look closely into the drawing, you'll see how far that U bar is going onto the structural detail. Now you can see these are my rings. He say that T8 at the center of 200. If you measure from the center of this ring to the center of this other ring, is supposed to be 200 spacing. Now you can see we're able to fabricate that beam. It's like this: 4 T25s U bars, and they are and with the rings of T8s, center to center is 200. You can see this how it goes. This is how it goes. You can see the U bars are running all the way. If you look at the drawing that I have shared there very closely, we said the U bars are going just after this other beam. There's a beam there that's meeting beam 31. You can see that the U bars are just the top U bars are just going just a little bit after this after that beam. You can see that's where they are lapping. You can see here that that's where they're lapping. This called an overlap. Now if you come this side, you can see my U bars. My U bars are not going all the way the other side. So the bottom U bars are not going all the way the other side. They are going a bit shorter. If you look at the drawing that I shared, you'd see that if you look at how it's drawn, the U bars, the bottom U bars are not going all the way as the top U bars. So you can see, you go in front of the beam. This is how the beam goes. If you can see that it's going all the way to this column here. If you look at that drawing very well, you'll be able to see. Now if you come this side, he also said 4 T25s. Now 4 T25s, what we call the L bars. The L bars. Make sure that your L bars is at least 150 millimeter more, not less than that one. According to the British standard, supposed that is 150 more L bars. So the L bars goes and is anchored into this other beam that's carried by this column, so that the loads are able to move from the beam to the column without any problem. Now you can see there are 4, which means 2 of them at top and 3 of them and 2 of them into the bottom. If I take you back to the section, of beam 31, you'll be able to see that the section of beam 31, you can see that there are 2 rings. We haven't finished the rings. You can see there are supposed to be 2 rings. You can see very clearly. One is at the center, and one is at the outside. You can see the top bars are 4. There are 4 top bars, and you see the bottom bars are more, which means this beam is not yet done. But we are going to be able to add more reinforcement within this beam. As for now, I'll be passing you through more details on how we have been able to do most of the beams we are doing on this slab. You can see this is our slab. The formwork is ready, everything is ready. The guys have gone for lunch. Yeah, I'm using this time a little bit to share with you some knowledge, so you can also be able to advance your career within the construction and civil engineering industry. You can see these our beams are all already for reinforcement, but now we have started just still today, and we are trying to push and see how far we can go. So be tuned in for other next videos. I'll be sharing better detailed videos where you can be able to explain to you different steel fabrications onto different drawings. Yeah, my name is Charles. I'm a civil engineer, and you can subscribe to my channel so that the content can be able to reach other more guys. Yeah, thank you.